I'm Kristy Aasheim, a top producing agent in North Dakota, and this show is all about learning from the best. Top producers, brokerage owners, and industry experts who have faced the challenges, put in the work, and climbed to greatness. Whether you're looking to sharpen your skills, gain new strategies, or even get inspired by the journeys of top agents, you're in the right place. Let's get started.
Thanks, Kristy, for coming along and being with me here today to talk about South Dakota versus North Dakota. So first of all, give us a little bit of information about who you are, a little bit about your family, and how long you've been a realtor in North Dakota.
Okay. So first of all, I'm Kristy Aasheim. I have been over in North Dakota since 2013. I have 3 boys, and yeah, we've been living this lovely life over here for a long time. I actually didn't start out as a realtor. I started out as a landman in the area, which is very real estate related. We can get into that in a second. But I'm actually from Montana, right across the border from North Dakota. So this, where I live now, is actually our everything town anyway. So I grew up right here. We had to come over here for Walmart, Kmart, orthodontist appointments, everything. So very, very familiar with North Dakota as far as that goes, because when you come from a small town, that's what it's like. But yeah, I did start out in the oil field, leasing locations and all that kind of stuff first.
It's up there, Williston, near Williston.
Yep, I live right in Williston, and then I accommodate the entire Bakken, and I've been licensed for almost 10 years here.
Very good. So what's interesting is obviously I'm in Rapid City, South Dakota, which is basically straight south. However, for time zone, because correct, because the way it just cuts down, it's just weird to go straight north and to be into Central Time Zone.
It's an hour and a half away from, well, actually an hour one way and an hour and a half another way that the time zone changes, which is just ridiculous, but it is worth it.
It's weird. I'm Tristan Emond. I've been in South Dakota we moved here from Minnesota back in 1990. So I've been here for quite a while in Rapid City, just on the edge of the Black Hills. And I've been doing real estate since 2006. And then I started and decided to do some work with my wife. She came with me. We became a team. And then in 2016, we said, we can do this ourselves. And we started our own little independent brokerage. So we are with Mindful Living Realty. So that kind of gives you a real quick 1, 2, 3 on us down here in South Dakota.
Yeah, wonderful.
So let's talk a little bit about North Dakota in general. So give me some basic stats. Us Northern Dakota, us Dakotans, we don't have a lot of population. Talk about some of the cities and some general stats for us.
Okay. Well, first of all, North Dakota is just under 800,000 right now, I believe. So of course, Fargo is your biggest town. That's your kind of city. So if you want your city vibe, you're going to be in Fargo. Bismarck's going to be your secondary. Grand Forks right behind it. And then Minot, you have your Air Force Base. So you do have a population there due to that. And then Williston, we are the babies. But we were 10,000 people, I would say, 2008. And then exploded into 30 to 50,000. And now they say we're around 30, but I don't believe it. I would say you cannot justify our numbers right here due to the fact the oil field, we have people coming in and out all the time, and a lot of people that are not residents, but work here. So yeah, that's where our economy is as far as how many numbers we have. And yeah, we're still pretty small when you really think about it, we're small.
Even the state of North Dakota itself. So South Dakota is pretty similar in the sense that we're about the same landmass size. And we're getting close to 900 and some thousand, I think, now in South Dakota as we've been growing. But still, that puts us I can't remember what the right number was. We're not even 2 people per square mile kind of. When you go over to places like New Jersey, which are thousands of people per square mile. So we definitely have that remoteness that not very many people around, which we really love in a lot of ways because we don't like much life like traffic.
Why we like it here. We like how we can see for miles and walk for miles and see nobody. So it's wonderful.
So we got similar situations in South Dakota. We've got Sioux Falls on the east side of the state. They're getting close to 250,000 people, I think. So yeah, if you're looking for the biggest city, that's them. And then Rapid City is next. We're getting close to about 80,000, I think, right now. And then you've got Aberdeen and Watertown, which are and Brookings at 30,000. And then, Pierce, our capital city. I don't think they're even close, even around 15,000 yet. They're in Pierce, South Dakota with the Missouri.
Yeah, it's crazy. I'm actually surprised that South Dakota has surpassed North Dakota in that realm, but it has been growing like crazy. I know a lot of people are flocking to South Dakota.
Yeah, especially the Black Hills area. We've had a lot of people that have come here because of the Black Hills. enjoy just being close to the Black Hills. But I've also talked with a lot of people where they're going to Sioux Falls because the business opportunities are better over there. You're a little bit more Midwestern. Actually, on this side of the state, it's a little more mountain, a little more mountainy, a little more mountain states, where Sioux Falls is closer to Omaha and Minneapolis, and you got more business going on over on that side of the state. Oh, shit, I'm pretty sure that's the same story for Fargo as well, correct?
Global. Absolutely. And that place is growing like crazy. My sister lives there. We go there all the time. And every time I go, there's a ton new that I didn't even know existed. But it is fun because, you know, you kind of get a little taste of that city life, but it's still North Dakota. So it's not as big. I can still get around and know where I'm going.
It's a city. We call it a big city, but really it's not really at
No,
all
no.
comparatively to some of the dense metropolitan areas.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. Yes.
Next question people are going to ask because of where we are is about the weather. That's always the biggest question because when they see South Dakota, North Dakota on the news, it's usually because it's a big blizzard going on or some sort of historic event. Talk about the weather in North Dakota. What do you get for snow, tornadoes, the whole gambit?
Okay. So right now, I mean, we are far north. So people know we are very close to Canada where we live. And it's cold. It is cold in the winter. I think last year we had a day where the wind chills were negative 60 some. It was insane. And we'll go 2-week, 3-week periods with that weather. And work doesn't stop. So people know. Like there's still people out in the oil field working. There's still people outside working. I will say we used to get a ton of snow. And that hasn't been for quite some time. It's kind of been more dry winters, which has not been good for us. We need the moisture, we need the snow, we need the insulation. The snow insulates everything that we have, like insulates even our septic tanks, you know, for all of us that live rural and all those things. But they did ban the cloud seeding this year. And we saw 20 inches of rain last month, which is, oh, not last month, in July. And that is insane. We don't usually have that much rain in July, usually. So I'm thinking this year we're actually going to see some snow again since we're not using that. The cool thing about Williston as far as tornadoes and all that kind of stuff goes, yes, we definitely see some, well, I call it beautiful. I love weather. I love seeing those big bad clouds and it's terrible. I just love watching it. But we have the river running right through us and it tends to split any storm. So we kind of seem a little protected right where I am. I see that it definitely has been hitting the Minot Bismarck area. Bismarck for sure this year. That whole area has really seen a lot of tornadoes and things like
And it
that.
comes down the center and down through,
Yeah.
doesn't it?
It's kind of crazy. The river will split it and then it'll hit those areas. But we've been pretty safe up here from it. We really haven't got much weather except for rain up in our area. But so rain, wind, tons of wind, always wind.
Always wind. Yeah, that was my next question. What about the wind? And that's the
Always.
thing,
Yes, always windy. You cannot get away from it. So if you just have a 20-mile-an-hour wind, you're like, oh, pretty nice day. It's great.
right? Feels good, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. So it's
Do
weird,
you
but
find that it slows down? Like usually our area, August is a slower wind month. Is that the way it is for you as well? Or does it tend not to be that way?
not necessarily, but it has been pretty good the last couple of weeks. It wasn't bad. Like I even stated it the other day. I'm like, wow, it's been like generally okay. I mean, we had a couple days. I mean, we definitely had a storm roll through that. It was a storm. Yeah. Yeah. It blew my neighbor's boat off their sidewalk, everything. It was bad, but it's been generally pretty good. Yes.
Nice, nice. So we're pretty similar. We're a little bit different though in the state as far as we're concerned because the Black Hills is its own little microcosm for the weather compared to East River. So a lot of times we'll get snow all throughout the whole state, and over on the Black Hills because of the banana belt effect, we'll have generally warmer weather and it will be melted. And the United States still has snow. So that's pretty common. What you'll see that in our state, you kind of have that dividing line between what we call east and west. And sometimes we'll have a lot more warmer weather on the Black Hills side because of the banana belt. Similarly, tornadoes seem to just pop around the Black Hills and then they'll go towards Phillip and then over east. A lot of tornadoes have been going over that way, especially this year. I think we've had 3 or 4 I noticed in the summer that were that way, it seemed like. And then I think I agree with you on the snow. It seems like it's been drier and less. I think last winter, we have a couple times where we're having a foot or 2 or so. We just got little 6 inches every once in a while that went away, just real fluffy stuff. And we never really got that spring storm that was dropping 3 foot of snow, the really wet stuff. So it seems to be that way. But yeah, I think hopefully we'll have more snow coming this year. And we did have a relatively wet year in contrast. Usually we're in that drought category. And we actually got out of that drought category in majority of Pennington County, on the county that we live in. A little bit's drier still to the south, but we've had quite a bit of rain lately. But still, yeah, we get those cold weather temperatures too. We probably won't be as cold as long, but you still got to prepare for them. We'll still have the 60 below wind chill days. It might not last as long, and it might not be as cold as you since you're a little bit further north.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're moving either the Dakotas. We're gonna have some cold. You're gonna have some snow. You're gonna have some ice, and the wind's always there.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's just something we just kind of grow up and deal with. I mean, it is what
Yeah, I've
it
been
is.
a couple places where the wind is non-existent. And it just feels wrong.
I
Should there
feel
be
like
some air
storm.
movement or something?
Yeah, it's weird. You're like, is there a storm brewing? Is something gonna happen?
Yeah, because
No.
when it was really quiet, you're like, okay, what's up?
Yeah. Yeah. That's when there's a storm here. Like if it's that quiet, you're like, there's something out. But yeah.
Right. And you can see the clouds in the distance are like the greenish gray color, and you're like, oh, something's coming.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the only time we're super calm, that's for sure.
What's next? Well, let's talk a little bit about what North Dakota is known for. What's cool about North Dakota? What draws people to North Dakota?
Okay, so first and foremost is definitely going to be the Bakken oil field. We are definitely a workforce area. If you want a good job, you will have it. You can come here. You may not love the work you're doing, but you can make a lot of money here very easily. It is hard work. Of course, you are going to work in the winter. You're going to work in the winter outside. Most people, obviously, depending on what your skill is. But we are the land of opportunity here. Definitely, there's always something. Williston is a growing place. We have things going up all the time. The community's trying to make this an industry to keep people here, so it's not a boom and bust type thing. And it's been going well. I think our entire state has been doing really good with that. So that is number one. You want a good job, you can come here.
Yep.
You can make good money.
Midwest, blue collar, working hard. Yep. Yeah,
Yes.
I've had numerous people that I know that came up to Williston, and they'll go work up there for I think 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off kind of thing. And but they come back home for 2 weeks, then go back up there, and that's what they were doing.
Yep. Yep. It is. And then my son even went out of high school and went straight into it and makes an exuberant amount of money. Way more than if he would have went to school.
Right.
So he's doing great. I mean, anybody can do it. So it doesn't matter what age you are. You can come up here and you can really succeed in life and do a lot more. But you have to deal with it. It is a lot. But so that's number one. Number two is we do have the amazing Missouri River and Lake Sakakawea. It's gorgeous. I mean, there's nothing like it. You can go on trails, walks, everything, and just see nothing but bluffs and beauty and sunsets. And I mean, we all spend our days on the weekends camping at the lake. I mean, that is the big thing. There's tons of different lake spots that you camp at that all have their little things. I mean, there's even concerts at all the different places, things like that. It's super fun. We also do have the Badlands, similar to South Dakota. So we have that, and Medora is a huge part of it, but there's 2 units. There's a south unit, north unit of the Badlands. North unit's by me. We can actually go on the hiking trails all day long. There's lots of marathons there. So lots of beauty in the outside, tons of hunting here. So people come to hunt in troves up here. So we have that coming up very, very soon. I know some seasons just open, and then a couple more are going to start open here in the next couple weeks. So we're going to see an influx of that. And then we also have this huge metal structures that is over by Dickinson. You can just drive the road and you can see all these beautiful things. The same person built them. It is absolutely gorgeous. So that's kind of a cool thing people like to go for.
I remember there's a name of that road, isn't there? I can't remember what it's called right now.
I have it somewhere. But anyway, we do have that. We also have the Minot State Fair. And it's funny to say that a fair, but a fair brings so many people. They have concerts after concerts for 2 weeks long. And so
Nice.
people come here for that. So, I mean, that is like a hot spot. What else? We have all sorts of things, but mainly I would say outdoor activities is our biggest thing.
And you're primarily in agricultural states. You've got a lot of outdoor stuff primarily around that as well.
Oh, absolutely. So we do have a huge farm and ranch area all across the states. And I think our different styles of agriculture versus North Dakota, South Dakota are different. But we definitely have that huge basis of farming and stuff here. So again, you can just look for miles and you can see farm fields, you can see the river, you can see everything. We're not highly populated, so you can just kind of be one with the earth. That's great.
Yeah. The Midwest sunsets are something you can always count on.
Oh, I couldn't even tell you how many sunsets are on my phone. My home it's in town, but out of town. And it's right on this rural little area where right left of me or right east of me is a huge farm field. So I get to overlook that. And then it overlooks the river bluffs. So it's gorgeous. And I just take photos all the time of the
Nice.
sunrise, sunset. It's gorgeous.
Nice. Well, similarly, South Dakota, also an agricultural state. And of course, a lot of people are coming here for the Black Hills. Mount Rushmore's in the Black Hills. We've got Crazy Horse, which is getting quite a bit more popularity. And then I think what happened was in 2020, when a lot of people were coming and visiting the Black Hills because it was open and available. And then they started Instagramming it. And next thing everyone's going to go there. And they started to realize how cool it was. We've really had tourism is very popular, especially in the Black Hills side, in which time they'll also go check out our South Dakota Badlands. They go up to Wyoming at Devil's Tower. And so we have a lot of different things in our area for people to go view and see, and a lot of beautiful trees and hills, lakes. We love to hang out at Capitola Lake, which is actually a reservoir. You're just in this mountain lake and just hanging out. It's just very beautiful. So we've got a lot of that going on in our area. But then we also have with stock shows and other events that bring people to the area and to the state. But we also, Huron's got the state fair. Similar to you, we have a lot of hunting. South Dakota is the not pheasant hunting capital of the world.
It
You
is.
can go to Huron
Yep.
and actually get a picture in front of a great big pheasant if you want to. That's just what you want to do.
Yep, for sure.
And yeah, tourism is very important here. Agriculture, we do have, so again, the split, west and east. West is a little more ranchy style, a lot more cattle, a lot more hay fields. Where east, you got a lot more of the farming, cornfields. A lot of that, more of that's going on the east side of the state as well. We've got a guy that's put a Porter Sculpture Park on I-90. It's the same thing. It's got these weird metal pieces hanging out that you can go visit. It's weird looking though. It's a little bit different than Shannon Highway. Looks a lot cooler. I haven't been there.
I've never been to that one. So, yep.
So what are your 3 favorite things about North Dakota or living in North Dakota?
I would say number one's got to be the communities. I have the best neighbors. I have the best neighborhood. I have the best people around me. I mean, if something happens to you, there's going to be 3 people that stop and help you. If just the amount of money we raise for people that are in bad situation, things like that, there's always a fundraiser for somebody. It's just very welcoming. It's very safe. We call it the hood rats. We have all these kids that just go out and play. And a ton of them. You don't see that in big cities. You can't do that. It's dangerous. Whereas here, they just go off and we all just before dark, find our children and bring them back home, make sure they're safe. But it's just a different way of growing up and being around people. I always have to tell people that a lot. I give a lot of tours to people trying to hire on around the area. And they're like, hey, would you just take me around? Because they always get this bad taste about North Dakota or even the oil field, because we're right here in Williston. We've always had a bad rap. And it's actually ridiculous. I'm like, you have no idea how safe and wonderful it is. And just the open skies and everything around here you cannot beat it. That would be my number one. Number 2 would just be convenience. We are small enough. I can do my errands in an hour, and that's hitting up 8 different places and probably chit-chatting with people at each place. It takes me 15 minutes to get across town. I never realized how amazing that was until I moved from the small town where I could do it in 5 minutes. And then I moved here and like, okay, an hour isn't bad. But then I go with my sister in Fargo to do those kind of things. It takes even longer. And then you think about the city, you wouldn't get any of that done in a day. Like, not a chance. So I think about that, the time you have, there's just no beating that, in my opinion.
In March, I went with my wife to a conference in Atlanta, and I drove a car while she was at her conference. Driving through there, my goodness, takes forever.
Oh, yeah. And it's just dangerous. And there's so many cars, and you're like, oh my goodness. Like, it's no big deal. Stop at stoplight, you're waving at people because you know them. It's just a different lifestyle of living in that sense. And I would say the last thing is just, I enjoy what we do here. I enjoy the open skies, the rivers, the hunting, the fishing, the watching the kids run out and play and have troves of friends to hang out with versus, in the city, I don't think you can just bring a bunch of kids over after school because it wouldn't work to bring them all over and get them all home because of where you live. I just love all that. I love the small town community, period, end of story. But North Dakota just has a lot to offer. There's a lot of fun things to do on the weekend. We travel to Bismarck all the time. We travel to Fargo. My sister lives there. So we have things to do in every town and different things. So We keep busy with all of it.
Just depends on what you're looking for and what
Right.
you're looking for.
Whether you want to go to a concert or do you want to go shoot clay pigeons? Do you want to go shoot pheasants? Whatever you want to do, you can do it in North Dakota. It's just you got to find somebody to guide you and show you what's there.
So my favorite things about South Dakota are really similar to yours. Number one is the Black Hills. We basically have a playground in our backyard, and in an hour we can be walking down a path in the trees that maybe by ourselves. Plus, with all the beautiful lakes and the rivers and the streams, the fishing there. I'm not much of a fisherman. If you do, that's a pretty cool thing to do there as well. All the opportunities there within the Black Hills being so close. That's definitely my number one about being here in Rapid City. The second one is also the people, the communities around. I've had a number of people move to South Dakota from out of places, and that's been the constant thing. People saying people are really nice here, and they can't believe the conversations they've had at the grocery store, and just talking with people, and neighbors coming over and saying, "Hey, how are things going?" And all the different things that pegs right into your talking about the community feel and the community aspect.
Yeah.
And I forgot the third. Okay. And the third is actually in our area is our climate. Now I know we still have winter, but it's a lot softer for winter than some other places than still being in north. And I couldn't imagine living in Phoenix where it's so hot, and I can't imagine it being that hot. Of course, I've only lived in the north, so I just don't know what I'm talking about. For us to have less humidity over here in the Black Hills, to have a little bit less snow, it was a little warmer at times, and still have our white Christmas or colder Christmas. We really like the climate in our area, especially from the humid crap storm that was Southwest Minnesota growing up. So that's my three favorite things about living here in Rapid City, and a lot of the good things to do about South Dakota in general.
Yeah, I do like your weather better than my weather as well. I would absolutely say that because I do have a little cabin out there, and for some reason, it's just always a little bit nicer. So I'll take your weather over mine. And
100%.
you have trees. I don't have trees.
Yeah, we have our trees. So there's always a little South Dakota versus North Dakota rivalry. And one of the things that I always said is kind of, the tree in North Dakota is kind of the dig. And I'm sure there's something in North Dakota to say about South Dakotans that's not great. But
I actually don't have anything, but my husband's there too. So he's from the other side of the state, not your pretty side, but they're where everybody goes for the pheasant hunting.
Oh yeah, 100%. Now there is something to be said. While I will always take the mountains or the hills, we're not really mountains, we're hills.
Yep.
I'll take the Black Hills any day. There is something to be said about the prairie, especially like driving through the prairie, either in May, June, when the grasses are just coming up and they're all different colors. And then later on in September, October, when the sunflower seeds are in bloom, or the sunflowers are in bloom, there's something about that's just awe-striking. It's just amazing.
Yeah. Corn and the sunflowers over in that part of South Dakota. I mean, it's also in North Dakota. It's just gorgeous. Yeah. It's gorgeous. Yes. I agree with you.
People underestimate just how amazing that is. Not where I necessarily would like to live, but it's really cool to appreciate all the different. We've got even both of our states have just so many different geographical wonders from one side to the other. We don't got oceans or stuff. We got a lot of other really cool things throughout our states.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you don't even realize it until you start talking about it. Like, oh, okay, I guess we're pretty spoiled. I haven't really dove into every single state, but we are spoiled. We have a lot of beauty and a lot of open spaces. And I hope it always stays that way. I would never want to get overpopulated where it's no longer there.
Yeah. I think with the winter, I think we're probably safe there.
Probably are. We probably are. I mean, there is times I want to be a snowbird. Don't get me wrong. I want to stay at south in winter sometimes. It is what it is.
Great. All right, let's transition a little bit into real estate. Just talk a little bit about present home prices in your area and if other areas as well. Just kind of give an idea of maybe a 3-bedroom house, 2,000 square feet. What kind of is your home pricing right now in that kind of idea?
Okay, well, let's first start off with the Bakken area. We'll just do us as a whole. We're a bubble. We are our own little bubble in the state, in the nation. People are always like, oh, the economy is this, whatever, and real estate system. Like, well, we have 60 to 70 homes on the market. We need about 300. We do not have enough of anything. So when we're talking, let's say a new build, A 3-bed, 2-bath, 2-stall garage, you're over $400,000. And this is maybe a 7,000 square foot lot. So you're not getting much. And those are not 2,000 square feet.
Yeah.
Maybe 1,400. You're not getting much. If you want a little bit bigger, you're going to have to go a little bit older for the same price. It's really rough here. I'm not going to lie. So it's really hard to get anything good. You're going to have to be in the 500,000-600,000 if you want something nicer. Building is atrocious. To build a 4,000 square foot home is on a nice lot is about $1.1 million.
Yeah.
That's nothing crazy. I literally just toured one. It's in my neighborhood, so I know all about it. Like, it really is. It just takes a lot of money to do anything anymore. And then if we go into Bismarck, I actually know from today, I just listed, I had a rental over in Bismarck. It's a 4-bed, 2-bath, beautiful 1/4 acre lot, 2 living rooms, gorgeous vaulted ceilings. It's super nice. I mean, it's an older home, like in the 80s, but
Yeah.
it's beautiful. I already have agents going down my neck today. 10 showings. They're like, oh, we want more shows. I'm like, no, we got to cut them off because I have a renter in there. I'm like, we'll just collect all offers by Friday. So we have so many showings. And we're talking $329 for the price point. So definitely a huge shift from Bismarck to Williston. You can get way more for your money. And I'd say Minot is about the same way. Fargo, I think it lowers even a little bit just because they have more buildings. They have more
Bigger.
there's more infrastructure. So you can definitely, a person can find more. I'm sure your new builds are still very high priced, and plus you also got to think about the supplies. We have a Menards here, but it's the end of the earth to get here. So I think everything we buy is more expensive and having to ship it up here is more expensive. So everything we do is more expensive. So that is a downfall for sure.
The remoteness has its perks, but it's also got its disadvantages in that sense that it takes longer for everything to get here.
Oh, yeah. And we're not just talking North Dakota. I mean, even if you want to stretch into South Dakota, Montana, it's still such a distance to the nearest big town. You just can't win.
We're 5 hours from the next, 5 hours to Bismarck, 5 hours to Sioux Falls, 5 hours to Billings, 6 hours to Denver. There's not much in between. There's some smaller towns, of course, but nothing bigger than us.
Yeah.
That's kind of how it works.
Same.
Yep. Which makes vacationing really sucky because it's to go anywhere. It takes a long time to fly. And if you just want to get the car and drive, you're driving a long ways to get anywhere.
Yeah, I just tell people and they're like, oh, you go 2 hours for that? I'm like, that's like a normal day. Yeah, I'll go 2 hours, stop at here, here, and here and come back. And they're like, okay, that's weird.
Yep.
I'm like, well, that's just how we grew up. We drive for everything.
Couple hour drives. Yeah. Part of the day. No problem.
No big deal. Yep.
We have real estate here in South Dakota, similar situation where we in Rapid City, because of the Black Hills, little higher priced everything. Our overall average is getting closer to $425,000 in that range, depending on when you look at it. And your 3-bedroom house that's about 2,000 square feet is probably going to cost you $400,000 pretty easy. You can get into something that's considerably smaller for $300,000. Even some of the beat up pieces of junk are like, that's $250,000, really? Okay. When 10 years ago, that $250,000 would have got you in a pretty decent property.
Oh, absolutely.
But that's just the way it is. With COVID, things increased in our area about 30%. Values were a lot more expensive than we used to be here in Rapid City. Used to be was a cheap city to live in, and now it's a lot different. And probably similar to what you're experiencing is things are a little more expensive, and some people thinking they can come here and get into something for really cheap. We're below average, but still it's not cheap. Even like in cities like Pierre, which is our capital city, I just looked up some information there, and there you can get you could probably get into something for $350,000, a little bit bigger, but still you're going to be spending, $250,000, $300,000, $400,000, above $400,000 to get into something that's any size and looks a little nicer than you. But similar to you as well, Sioux Falls, bigger city, got more availability. Prices tend to be a little bit less there, but it's also been growing. Real estate there is still getting to be $400,000. Doesn't get you a whole lot anymore. We actually have in our area, we're doing a lot of new builds around. With those new builds, $350,000 is not getting you a very big house at all, or it's getting you something that's very cheaply built, I feel, or just thrown up.
Yes.
And we've actually got a bunch of new construction affordable homes where you can buy something for $250,000, but what you're buying is a 500 square foot box for $200,000. And it's good.
Exactly.
That's the way it is. So
Yeah.
I think the status kind of sounds like the same as while you can expect to spend less than you would in a metropolitan city around here. People from Nevada and California, they say it's cheap to live here. Other people from other parts of the Midwest, they come in and say, wait a minute, I can only get this much for this amount of house. So it's like, that's the way that things are. So you got to make sure that you're aware of what the costs are living in our areas compared to where you're coming from.
Oh, absolutely. And then the cost of living overall. I mean, groceries and gas and everything. I mean, we're more expensive for all those kind of items up here.
Right. Just because like we mentioned, travel costs more to get it there.
Yeah, absolutely. Completely different.
So what else do you want to talk about in North Dakota to either encourage or discourage people from moving to North Dakota?
Well, North Dakota's full. No, I'm just kidding. I would absolutely say North Dakota's a great state to move to. I know every city has a different field for people to move into. You have to always think about work, unless, of course, you're fortunate enough not to have to. If you're fortunate enough not to have to work, I would definitely, the Bismarck River is amazing. There's really cool places in Fargo. Definitely, the Grand Forks, Minot area, there's things about those as well. I just really like the river. So I'm definitely going to push you towards Bismarck if you're financially stable and you don't need to work anymore. But if you need a job, if you want a life changer, come up here. We'll get you a job. It's life changing, and you can definitely put your life in a different direction and have all the success you want. It's literally endless possibilities. It's just how much you want to work.
100%. Same thing with, I say about South Dakota is number one, always visit first, because you never really, I can say a lot of things. You can say a lot of things. It might sound amazing or it might sound terrible, depending on which side of the fence you're on. But that visit always helps people to kind of get a feel of what they're like in the area that they want to move to. I mean, sometimes people like to come up. Let's come during the wintertime versus the summertime and see how everything is. Let's
Yeah.
come during tourist season to kind of get a feel of where the tourists are at. Does it really feel as busy or not? And then the other big thing I mentioned is make sure that you're okay with the winter, because while you think, it won't be that bad, we'll figure it out. It might not be. You might hate that. Fortunately, we get plenty of sun during the winter time, but it's still winter. It's still cold. So make sure
Yes.
that you are aware of those. And a lot of people are surprised by the wind. The wind is something they're just not quite used to sometimes. It's hard to convince them that you probably will get used to it, but it takes some time to become accustomed to just always having some wind move around.
I will say the one thing we have seen the most of up here is a lot of the men have moved up here first, and then they bring their wives and families later.
Yeah.
And a lot of times that's a life changer for them. Some have loved it. Others leave. They leave. They're like, there's no shopping. It's the shop. It's the not having all the services available to them right here. It's like a shelter shock to them. And they're like, we can't do this. We can't do this. And they leave. So the visiting is a huge thing, because you really have to see how small it really is and how far it really is from things. And see,
We idolize the small town living a little bit, but when you're used to, like I said, people will come that moved up from like down near downtown Denver, and they move up here and there's nothing to do. I'm like, comparatively, probably not, especially if you're into what's going on downtown. There's a lot of more things going on, more play. There's so much more happening in that area than you go up to a smaller town, which we really are.
yes.
There's just simply less going on, just because that's just the way it is. And
Yeah.
especially if you don't love the outdoor piece of it all the time, then it gets different.
Yeah.
To move here.
We're definitely open to the more slower paced lifestyle, as far as when work's over, we like to chill out and just do things outside or whatever we feel like doing. We don't need a bunch of activities.
And we don't need to drive 3 hours to get there.
No.
We're driving 3 hours for 20 miles. We'll
Absolutely.
drive 3 hours to go somewhere, but we're going that many miles to get there.
Yeah. So it's just different. I mean, it's whatever you can handle. But I know also on the flip side, we've had people move up from Texas, because we have a lot of Texas transfers, that then later on, years later, their company put in for a transfer them back to Texas. And they're like, no, we're not going. They're like, it's so much safer to raise our family here. It's just a better lifestyle for them. And they say no, and they'll change jobs. So it has worked out in the other realm as well. A lot of people are like, nope, we love it. This has been the best thing we've ever done.
Yep. I've also had, we have on the east side, Ellsworth Air Force Base, and have had a number of clients that have decided not to sell their property, but rent it out because they plan to come back after retirement to live here. And so a lot of people have done that, or they plan on coming back here when their military life is over. It's the same thing. And a lot of people have liked what they have here.
Yeah, you just got to give it a chance, right?
Some people just know. Some people, they just kind of, no, I'm done. Thank you very much. And I'm like, okay, that's good. I'd rather you come up here, visit and say no, than come up here, move and say, okay, this place sucks, and then have to leave, do everything. Thank you very much for joining me today, talking about your state. And hopefully this was of some value to people thinking about South Dakota versus North Dakota.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Cool.
That's it for this episode of the Inner Circle podcast. I hope you've enjoyed the conversation and took away some valuable insights to help you along your real estate journey. If you found today's episode helpful, make sure you like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. We'd love to hear your thoughts, so drop me a comment below with your biggest takeaway or any questions you might have. And if you know someone who would benefit from this conversation, share this episode with them. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time on the Inner Circle.